Deus Ex Human Revolution is coming to you as an atmospheric orange variant on Blade Runner, and the game doubtless manages to model a parallel reality in which cyber-fi connotations indeed seem to influence the mere fabric of things present. The game is a stealth action FPS at heart, yet declaring it as a full-fledged RPG at the same time would be way too generous. Freedom, though constrained, its illusion is eloquently articulated. The narrative of the game is doing a decent enough job of building a story with rivaling mega corporations and a protagonist whose body and loyalty essentially equates with the mere battlefield of said companies. Yet, the premise of this sentence is more intriguing than the actual depth the game has the capacity to explore in the context of gameplay. There's only one main arc you can follow. The main storyline essentially is linear, and the 3+1 possible endings are invocable by pressing the corresponding button. The game is not especially reluctant to reveal its full value, which doubtless is impressive, yet in this case, the primal ingredients of this value never exhibit more flavor than one per component. To see what this means, let's explore the main activities the missions involve. Side exploration, optional stealth, optional bloodshed, terminal and computer hacking, and exhibiting your secondary skills at the places the developers were kind enough to construct a chance for you to do so on. Generally, you either will be determined to explore the given level at your own pace and comfort, which necessarily means that you will have to neutralize all hostilities in the given area, so you are free to immerse yourself into your surroundings without stress, or you can select to remain totally low profile and vent shaft your way through a level. Out of 5 vending machines, 3 of them will have a vent shaft behind them, and to be fair, it is a common practice of the game that a given room is approachable by hacking or by its vent shaft, which always is connected to an area you can access without hacking. The blend of these activities warrant the mere pacing of the game, which will be largely the same during the whole Deus Ex Human Revolution experience. Dispatch of guards and security, hack computers, get intel, move on. Or skip the first 3 steps and simply move on. But this way, you will miss out on the bulk of what the game has to offer. Not a single location of the game is meant to be rushed through. They are meant to be immersed in, they are meant to be explored, and they are pleasant and rewarding to explore indeed, no exception to this notion. The basic methodology the game employs warrants a quite rewarding gameplay for hours, but the actual story missions will subject you to the same series of activities for additional hours of doing the same exact things. As if you were expecting that the mission finally culminates, and instead you find yourself in another huge area with a central atrium and dozens of procedural cubicles with a myriad of computers to hack. Sure, it is a good thing, the more content to a game the better, yet be wary that as far as one-sitting gaming sessions are concerned,
Like,
if you are determined to play through one single mission by one sitting, then know that it is quite easy to eventually drown into the game and cry out in agony when you see the 227th computer that you will be hacking today. Certain missions are just massive. It is a beneficiary trait on one hand, and also a relative hindrance because as a result of the exhaustion, it is hard to leave the game in a top note of accomplishment. Granted, the solution is to stop playing for a while and resume once the experience and the immersion level is fresh once again. Hacking is an entertaining little minigame that may seem difficult at first, but hack 5 computers and you know everything about it. Though the thrill of the penetration never wanes and the satisfaction is never absent when a successful hack attempt, the game commits the mistake of not demanding any of your hacking resources if you are keen to stick to them until all else fails. As a result of this, you will be walking around with a ton of nuke disks, tools that make you 100% undetectable if you decide to rely on them. So, once you realize that you can hack without risks by using the nuke disks, and since you have a ton of those nuke disks at your disposal as the game progresses, the hacking literally loses all the challenge it has in the earlier portions of the game. At least there is more to hacking than information retrieval though. Unlocking the ability to shut down cameras and to calibrate turrets and security droids through hacked computer terminals are nice complementary aspects to hacking, And, talking about droids, it is especially fair of the game that you can take out the biggest $1 million security cyber triceratops with a single EMP grenade. This is a much more mature decision from the designers than it would have been to force the player to feed the Mega Droids a set of EMP billiard balls. The stealth mechanics are straightforward and fluent, and mostly revolve around the observation of patrol movement and spotting the window you can slip by through.
Come on, I just want to know to
The ability of taking down multiple hostiles lethally or non-lethally is an augmentation that can have significant effect on the gameplay, and as such, also is one of the more usable upgrades. The RPG elements are somewhat crude but doubtless present. One of the most rewarding RPG aspects is the thorough exploration of the two available city hubs. The limits of these finely built sections are quick to reveal themselves as you realize that they are relatively narrow architectural constructs, which though reveal superb visual appeal and exigency throughout all the space they occupy. They are complex yet deliberately designed with multiple elevation layers, so it takes a little bit of time, even a relative level of frustration, to familiarize yourself with their rather unorthodox layout, up to the point on which you will likely be tempted to assume that this design decision really seems to have taken place to further elevate, pun intended, city hub complexity. Granted, the city hubs are genuine and novel accomplishments, and it is a privilege to be immersed in them as a first-timer, but move on armed with the fat hope to harvest some more of the cyberpunk scenery, and the world will visually inform you that there are no further elements realized. You can trigger side quests in city hubs, and some of these missions are prone to bugs. Important characters being stuck in a wall, for example. Not too frequent of an occurrence, but it is a good idea to make a separate save per pivotal side quest events. The main problem is that the number of side quests are pretty scarce because the size of the city hubs really can't host more of them. It also is hilarious that, in the very bowels of the information age, you have to physically contact the quest giver in mid-space to report back upon quest completion. No cell phone based "it's done bruh" option. The dialogue system is decent, but you can hand count the number of people you can have relevant discussions with, even if you're a drunken lumberjack. The results of the dialogues seldom have narrative consequences in the game world. If you talk an important character out of suicide, the game rewards this with no additional twists to the story. You will have to satisfy with an achievement rating like Golden Tongue or Silver Tongue, and continue your progression essentially in the same narrative road as if the guy had spilled his contents out. One relatively mediocre part of the game, unfortunately, is the augmentation system. Your cybernetic augmentations can be unlocked by spending 2 praxis points, and you can upgrade them further by spending additional points until you max out a given category. Sounds good, but it is easy to end up with 25 praxis points, because you simply can't find anything in the augmentation interface that you would keenly spend your points on. Even the nifty cloaking augmentation is something you can do quite well without if you take the stealth aspect serious. So why would you want to invest praxis points into maxing out the Typhoon device that shoots rockets out of your body to appeal for the 12 years old, when you intend to minimize your exposure and evade direct confrontation whenever it is a possibility? And it almost always, if not always, is.
Yeah, man, that's very funny.
The inventory is ludicrously and quite smartly constrained. It limits your resources with an iron fist, and the items you carry will deeply affect the diversity of the styles you can play. It matters whether you take a gas grenade or an EMP grenade. You want them both? You are welcome to, but then you most likely will have to bid farewell to one handheld device. The game is especially rigorous in inventory real estate and in inventory management. Not allowing the player to drag the items around freely is the decision of a meme person with a rampant control freak tendency. In some context, Deus Ex Human Revolution is an elegant game that falls in love with its limitations. Lifting around boxes at the very last level, priceless. At the end of the day, though, Deus Ex Human Revolution is worthy of its title, and a welcome addition to the franchise.
So Doc, how about if I pretend that I can smile?
Sure, let's see that, Mr. Johnson. So, Mr. Jensen?
That was a trick proposal. I'm always pretending that I can smile.
Thank you for watching this review. Hope you enjoyed it.